My dear brothers and sisters, in today's gospel, we see that Jesus, after a night of prayer, chooses his 12 apostles and begins his Sermon on the Plain, which in the Gospel of St. Luke is similar to the Sermon on the Mount, beginning with the Beatitudes. What does this gospel teach us? First, let us remember that the Gospel of St. Luke presents a praying Jesus. Here is something profoundly true. Christ shows who he really is as a human being. He is God made man, who came to teach us to be truly human. A human being is fully human only when living the life God envisioned, and this involves a life of prayer. Man was made for God and to be with God. The reality of Christ praying should be a guiding light for us, illuminating the way to have an intimate life of prayer with God. If Christ, the Son of God made man, who had the beatific vision, prayed, who are we to say, I don't need to pray? Today's gospel also shows two extraordinarily important truths for the life of the church. The choice of the 12 apostles. Here we see a supernatural light on the reality that Jesus wants to be represented by men chosen by him, divinely and supernaturally. The word apostle means sent one, not only as a missionary but also as an ambassador, a symbolic person, an instrument of God's and Christ's presence. Apostles act in the name of Christ, in persona Christi. The more an apostle empties himself and becomes an instrument in Christ's hands, the more fully he fulfills his mission. The apostolic calling comes from prayer and only continues in prayer. Why? Because apostles also need to be with Christ. In St. Mark's account of the choosing of the 12, it says, Jesus chose the 12 and appointed them to be with him and to be sent. Being with Jesus, this intimacy in prayer, is essential before being sent on a mission. The apostles' perseverance in prayer. When Judas's replacement, St. Matthias, was chosen, the apostles prayed to make the decision. We also see in the Acts of the Apostles that deacons were chosen because the apostles could not abandon prayer and preaching to take care of tables. Thus, an apostle is born from prayer and only continues while living in prayer, in intimacy with Christ, to preach and transmit the word. May God bless you.